What's interesting about that, Marina, is one of the things that I'm hearing from people in the C-suite is there's sort of a fear. There is not a sense of my back will be covered.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a fear that if I'm really honest and I went with a half-baked idea, would I then be jeopardizing my position within the company?
Yeah.
And so how do you suggest people work around that and with that?
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great point, actually. And that's why I think it's really important to, like, setting the norm is really important up front. So I think engaging with the board to just discuss the general way that strategy is being approached in the boardroom, and agreeing that going forward, we might come to you with something that is not a final product, and getting the board's okay up front, I think gives sort of the management the green light to approach the board in the meantime as well, and should give some level of comfort that that's okay. But I think setting that the new norm, because there's certain like pre-existing norms in the boardroom, such as whatever you're bringing to me is a final product, and I'm going to assume it's final because that's just how we've done things. So if I see things that are not perfectly polished or thought through, then I'm going to be disappointed as a board member. However, if we've discussed in advance that this is how we're going to do this sometimes because it's more valuable for the process, then that's okay. Then the board members are aware and that they know. I would suggest like really engage in setting up that new norm and what's going to be different going forward, so that when you come to the next board meeting with that half-baked strategy, you can refer to that conversation. You can say, as you may remember, we discussed that sometimes we will come to you with something that is not a final solution, but we just really want to make sure we're engaging you early and we are making you aware of these thoughts very early on in the process.
That is a very disruptive strategy for both, I think, management as well as boards of directors, right? And so to be able to really navigate that effectively, you need almost somebody who can act as a go-between between the two parties. Is that correct or no?
Yes, I mean, I would say absolutely. I would say the CEO can take on that role to the extent that the CEO and the chairman are a separate role. I would say the CEO can take on that role and sort of speak on behalf of the management team and as well as on behalf of the board team. I would think that the CEO can chair that discussion and be the champion for disrupting that norm of engagement. But there is certainly like evidence in the marketplace that about 80% of board members feel like not enough time is spent on strategy, and they feel like they could be adding more value in the strategy domain. So there is some evidence that one can refer to as they start engaging in that discussion.